In a small town called Rivermark, there lived a boy named Elian. Rivermark looked peaceful, but it had a quiet cruelty, the kind that didn't shout, didn't insult, but simply ignored. And Elian had lived his whole life inside that silence. At 16, he had learned the rules of his world. He was never chosen. Not for games. Not for group projects. Not for friendships. When teachers asked students to pair up, Elian always stood alone, pretending he didn't notice the empty space around him. He had mastered the art of looking busy when he was breaking inside. At home, the silence followed him. His mother had died years earlier, and since then, his father had grown distant. They lived in the same house but spoke like strangers passing in a hallway. Most nights, Elian ate alone, listening to the sound of the clock reminding him that time moved on, even when people didn't. Still, Elian had one secret. He loved stories. At night, when the world slept, he wrote in old notebooks. In his stories, pain had meaning, silence had a voice, and the forgotten were never truly invisible. One afternoon, Elian's teacher announced a storytelling competition. The winner would receive public recognition and a scholarship opportunity. The classroom buzzed with excitement. Elian's heart raced. This could change everything, he thought. That night, he wrote like his life depended on it. His story was about a boy who kept offering kindness to a world that never returned it. When submission day came, Elian handed in his paper, without a word. A week later, the results were announced. His name wasn't called. Laughter followed. Did Elian even submit anything? Someone mocked. The teacher paused before saying, "Some stories are not suitable." That word, not suitable, cut deeper than any insult. That night, Elian tore his notebook apart, page by page, tears soaking the paper. He didn't cry loudly. Invisible people rarely do. Unable to breathe under the weight of his thoughts, Elian walked to the river outside town. There, he met an old man sitting on a worn wooden bench, feeding birds. "You look like someone carrying too much," the old man said calmly. Elian wanted to deny it, but instead, he sat down. And for the first time in years, he told the truth. He spoke of rejection, of being unseen, of feeling like he didn't belong anywhere. The old man listened quietly. Then he said, "Do you know why rivers keep flowing?" Elian shook his head. Because they don't wait for permission. The turn. From that day on, Elian kept visiting the river. The old man never gave speeches. He simply reminded Elian that applause fades, but meaning lasts. Slowly, Elian began writing again. Not for teachers. Not for competitions. For himself. One night, on a quiet impulse, he shared one of his stories online, anonymously. He expected nothing. But days later, a notification appeared. "I don't know who you are, but your story saved me tonight." Then another. And another. Strangers from around the world were finding comfort in his words. For the first time, Elian felt seen, not by being chosen, but by being honest. The irony. Months later, Rivermark hosted a storytelling event celebrating online creators. One story had gone viral, written by an anonymous author. When the author stepped onto the stage, the room fell silent. It was Elian, the same boy they ignored, the same boy they laughed at. The applause was thunderous. Elian scanned the crowd, searching for one face. The old man wasn't there. Instead, near the window, a small bird rested, the same kind the old man used to feed. The final truth. That night, Elian returned to the river. The bench was empty. But carved into the wood were words. You were never invisible. They were just too loud to listen. Elian smiled. He finally understood. Not everyone who is ignored is weak. Not everyone who is quiet is empty. Sometimes, the ones who are never chosen are chosen for something greater.